secret for decades. Thanks for joining us, everyone. I'm Carolyn Johnson. Dolores Huerta is now 95 years old. She says the abuse happened in the 1960s, and it comes on the same day a New York Times investigation revealed Chavez groomed and abused young girls. NBC4's Darsha Phillips is in the newsroom with the allegations and the fallout. Darsha.
Well, Carolyn, these allegations are shocking and disturbing and include accusations that Chavez groomed and sexually abused young girls who were part of the labor movement in the 1960s and 70s, and now Chavez's closest ally coming forward and saying she also was abused by Chavez.
We are not beasts of burden.
Cesar Chavez, the face of the Latino civil rights movement. Through marches and strikes, he, along with his most prominent female ally, Dolores Huerta, formed the United Farm Workers Union and transformed the lives of thousands of agricultural workers.
It
was a movement that allowed us to get breaks and created a union for us. It was a fight that took years, and it was major for all of us. Chavez's name and likeness honored all across California, his birthday, a state holiday. But now many cities and communities covering up statues and canceling planned celebrations after stunning allegations that Chavez sexually abused young girls and women. Today, Dolores Huerta, co-founder of United Farm Workers, breaking her silence, saying she was raped by the late Chavez. In a statement, Huerta says, "The first time I was manipulated and pressured into having sex with him," and goes on to say, "The second time I was forced against my will in an environment where I felt trapped." Huerta's public statement follows a New York Times investigation that brought to light allegations from other women. According to that investigation, the women say that Chavez, who died in 1993, abused them for years, starting when they were just 12 and 13 years old. Huerta says she remained silent for decades, fearing how speaking out would impact the very movement she built with Chavez. Huerta also says the alleged abuse led to 2 pregnancies, which she kept secret, and says her 2 daughters were raised by other families and did not find out that Chavez was their father until they took a genetic genealogy test in 2019. A spokesperson for Huerta says the 2 daughters only recently learned about the alleged abuse that led to their conception. The Chavez family released a statement saying they were devastated by the news, adding, "We wish peace and healing to the survivors, commend their courage to come forward. As a family steeped in the values of equity and justice, we honor the voices of those who feel unheard and who report sexual abuse." Governor Gavin Newsom says he is now considering renaming Cesar Chavez Day on March 31st.
We're just going to have to reflect on all of that and, reflect on a farm workers movement and a labor movement that was much bigger than one man.
And events scheduled for Cesar Chavez Day across the country have been canceled this afternoon. Cal Poly Pomona tells NBC4 the Cesar Chavez Day of Service will now be called the Spring Day of Service, and LA County and LA City leaders considering calling a motion to rename buildings and assets with Chavez's name. Live in the newsroom tonight, I'm Darsha Phillips, NBC4 News.
Darsha, thank you. And for more on Cesar Chavez and the history of the farm worker movement in California, go to our website, NBCLA.com. You can read the full statement from Dolores Huerta there. Again, that's on our website and the NBCLA app. Let's head outside right now. A live look from our camera here at our home in Universal City, where it is still in the mid-70s tonight. Meteorologist David Bigger is here now with the forecast, and more extreme heat on the way. David.
Yeah, and so, Carolyn, we had another hot day today. Not as hot as yesterday, but it was enough to break plenty of records out there. You can see Woodland Hills got to 100 degrees today, breaking the record of 92, Riverside 98, Burbank 97. Downtown LA got to the mid-90s today, which broke the record of 87 degrees from 1997. That wasn't it. Santa Ana and Anaheim both got to the mid-90s. Lancaster and Palmdale low to mid-90s. All of these set records. But as I bring in this last page of records here, you'll see Idlewild has that star next to the temperature, an indication that not only was it a record for today, the temperature of 87 was the hottest day in March ever in the record book for Idlewild. UCLA got to 87 degrees today. LAX managed to set a record even though it only got to about 82. As we go into tomorrow, we're looking at another hot day. Here's a great example of it. This is Chatsworth. You can see how quickly we warm up through the day. So another reminder, the best time to get anything done outside is during the morning before 11 a.m. when temperatures will jump into the 80s. We're still under all these heat alerts all the way through at least Friday. Moderate to very high risk of heat-related illnesses across the region, along with warm temperatures. We'll get a little cool down for the weekend, but the heat is not done. I've got details on that in a couple of minutes. Back to you, Carolyn.
We'll see you shortly, David. This extreme heat is shutting down some outdoor activities this week, and it's also causing power outages. NBC4's Macy Jenkins live in North Hollywood for us with the latest impact. Macy.
Hi, Carolyn. Well, yeah, it's out in the 70s, in the mid 70s right now in North Hollywood. And this heat is putting pressure on the power grid. Also, Southern California Edison in the last half hour confirming that 2,500 people in Beverly Hills will lose power overnight from midnight to 6 a.m. tomorrow to reduce the risk of a widespread outage. Whether you're there or anywhere else in this area, you are feeling the heat.
March, the month that brings us spring break and an extra hour of sunlight as we transition to spring. But this year's heat wave makes it feel more like summer's here instead. How do you feel about getting heat like this in March?
I don't like it, really.
You know, everybody complained about being cold, and now here we are with the heat. Give me back the cold weather.
The National Weather Service issuing another extreme heat warning through Friday night, with highs of 104 expected in some areas. Toasty temperatures in Upland tonight, bringing a boost in business for the local Handel's ice cream shop.
Birthday boy over here, and we took him to go play miniature golf. And because it was really hot, we're like, okay, guys, we got to cool down somehow. So we decided to look around for some ice cream spots.
The city of Burbank temporarily closing Wildwood Canyon and Stuff Canyon trails for the next 3 days, saying hiking is not recommended when the trailhead temperature exceeds 95 degrees.
If somebody is not experienced at hiking, I would not suggest doing it on a day like today. Definitely need to prepare and work your way up to this kind of heat and get your body adjusted. I do this all the time because I just enjoy it.
But Julie Checkeye and Jeffrey Morin were determined to get their steps in anyway.
I took some water with me, and I had to be on the lookout for rattlesnakes. The king snakes are fine. They kind of scurry away, but the rattlesnakes you got to really keep an eye on.
The heat affecting us all, including this coyote walking sluggishly on the hunt for water and shade. Over in South Westchester and Hawthorne, about 450 people have been without power since 5:50 this morning. Southern California Edison says the outage is due to equipment problems. They're still trying to figure out if weather is to blame. Crews working through the sweltering conditions to restore power and much needed air conditioning.
Unfortunately, I got to go to work and not have to deal with it, but unfortunately I have to leave my dog at home in the heat.
Now, SoCal Edison says it's already restored power outages and services to about 400 people in Beverly Hills and in Palm Springs. It's still working on bringing power back to 29 customers in Monterey Park. Hopefully, that'll get done by 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Reporting live here in North Hollywood, Macy Jenkins, NBC4 News.
And we are here to help make the next few days as bearable as possible. Download our NBC LA app if you haven't already, and there you can track the forecast. LA Unified teachers and staff made their message known to the district today. With contract talks stalled, they officially announced a strike date. NBC4's Tracy Leong live in downtown LA with what this means. Tracy.
Yeah, Carolyn, the strike is set for mid-April. LAUSD educators and staff rallied here earlier today, telling me they are prepared to walk off the job, but they hope a deal is reached soon so they can avoid a strike.
We're ready to fight because when we fight, we win!
Thousands of Los Angeles Unified School District educators and staff gathered in front of City Hall to demand a fair contract, announcing they would go on strike April 14th if no agreement is reached before then, which could shut down schools.
And you have one side who's willing to negotiate, who's come with multiple negotiations, and then you have one side, the district, who is just iron-fisted, and we're not sure why.
So the message of the USD, you can certainly afford to do what's right, and you must do what's right. This is so that all students in LA can have access to a quality education.
Two of the district's largest labor unions joining together, UTLA, which represents about 35,000 teachers, and SEIU Local 99, which represents about 30,000 education service workers. The educators and school staff say they do not get paid enough to live in LA. They're calling on the district to make equitable wage increases and to provide job protection to prevent layoffs.
I work 2 jobs, 10 hours a day, and I can't even make rent. So it means a lot. You know, we need full hours to support our families.
LAUSD issued a response to the strike, saying in part, LAUSD is actively engaged in negotiations with our labor partners and remains committed to reaching agreements that balance the needs of students, families, and staff while ensuring long-term fiscal stability. The district has repeatedly adjusted offers over more than a year of negotiations in response to concerns brought by our labor partners. For example, we've increased salary offers, proposed reducing class sizes, and lowering counseling ratios. This strike comes at a challenging time for the nation's second largest school district. Their superintendent is on paid administrative leave following an FBI raid. This as the district faces a $900 million budget shortfall and potential layoffs. LAUSD staff and educators